Hey there, Balanced Lady Bosses. This is Stacy, and welcome to the 100th episode. The 100th epic, because you know we call our episodes epic, right?
Episodes.
Episodes. Episodes. Welcome to the 100th epic of the Balanced Lady Boss Show, which is also kickstarting our season 4. Can you believe it, guys? We're 100.
Confetti.
And of course, I could not have had this episode without bringing on the person that actually introduced me to podcasting officially, Mrs. Tami Mitchell. And I'll say that because Tami actually invited me to be a guest on her podcast. And that was the first time I had ever been a guest on a podcast.
You're so good.
Yeah.
Look at you now.
Oh my gosh.
Hello.
Right. And it just was such an inspiration for me because I was on the fence about doing my podcast and I had started and I just didn't feel any momentum. And Tami tackled even that. She tackled my issues, right? So I just thought 100x we had to have the person that got me introduced to this thing on the show. So welcome, Tami.
Thank you.
Thank you for
I'm
joining
so
us.
happy to be here. That's crazy.
Yes, can you believe it?
That is so crazy. And then I mean, with my podcast, it's such a funny thing, the podcast, isn't it?
Yes.
Like you get going and then you stop a little and then you have to wheel and come again and then you have to. But yeah, we're here for it.
Yes, absolutely.
100 episodes is no joke.
Absolutely. And I actually had to start again, I got a podcast coach.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I did because I made up my mind. You know, we're going to talk about entrepreneurship thing. And I kind of made up my mind that I was going to use this as a vehicle for really hitting my community, targeting the women that would be interested in this stuff, in this conversation, you know. So, so I said, okay, this is an investment. An investment in another coach, and le voila, I am starting and I have a launch plan and it's a different world. I haven't figured out monetization.
Maybe I can help you there.
Yeah, maybe there, you know, but I'm definitely going to be looking at monetizing this year. And so, you know, Tami has done such an amazing job. Can I tell you?
Thank you.
So guys, remember that within our community, you know, especially as we're stepping into a new season, and I may have some new listeners or viewers out there, the 3 pillars that the Balanced Lady Boss show and the community and all our programs is built around our boardroom, bedroom bliss, right? Yes. I see that. And it's those 3 areas because I really believe that you can fully experience life in those 3 buckets, right? And so I want to make sure that women, professional women, working on what kind of work, whatever work it is that you do, you are really paying attention to all 3 layers of self, you know, both the mind, body, spirit self, as well as how you interact with this world, you know, boardroom, bedroom bliss. And so the 3 pillars are always the areas that we ask our guests to actually give us insight on from their life experience. And it's also the areas that when I'm alone, which you'll see more of me by myself this season, and when I'm alone, I can pick a pillar or I can talk about something that touches all pillars, right? So if you are in the market for conversations, real talk, authentic, I mean, talk about authenticity, right? You're in the market for authentic conversation and you want to hear solutions, tools, tips, hacks, or maybe just make sure that, you know, you're not the only one that's in this boardroom, bedroom bliss, then the Balanced Lady Boss Show is for you. And the season 4, we're just taking it to a whole other level. So my first lady boss that's here with us is all about balance, right?
Kind of.
And if you guys don't already know, when we talk about balance in the Balanced Lady Boss community, it's that we don't believe in the thing about 50-50 work and life, right? It's
balance
really
looks like this.
Yeah, balance actually looks quite unbalanced, right? And the whole idea behind the show is to help you with tactics, tools, tips, strategies to dive into the areas that may feel a little bit out of balance, so you can find stuff to help you so that when you're in a position to have that space in balance, you're better equipped. It's not to try to make sure that every area of life is balanced, because in truth, we know that that's not real.
So impossible.
That's not reality.
Yeah.
Right?
Not a thing.
So Tami, your boardroom has shifted many times.
Yep.
So we're going to start the journey there. We're going to start with what exactly has your boardroom been like? I mean, did you wake up? Well, I don't think when you were a little girl, you said, "Oh, I want to be premier vlogger and media mogul." Kind of. I don't think you had that in you necessarily. So where did it start? This, what do you feel has been? I'm asking several questions in one. All right. So let's just talk about your career journey, and we'll see what the common thread is that kind of emerges.
So, I mean, I know my common thread already is creativity. I have to be creative in anything I'm doing. And so I also love connection, however that looks. So my first job ever was, I used to teach kids to, dance. We did ballet, tap, modern jazz. But my my first ever job was at a toy store. Oh. And my favorite part, believe it or not, was not taking a slide down from 3 flights of stairs. It was the people. I really loved the people who came in. I loved talking to them and, whatever it was. I really think that music, and a lot of people just see it as a creative journey, music, but it's such an entrepreneurial journey. So that was really the beginning of me feeling like, or having to run my own business, so to speak. Okay. And so,
how old were you when you started in music? Am I aging you?
No, I'm just trying to remember.
Okay.
I want to say I was like 18.
Okay, that's not terrible.
Yeah, 16, 17, young, 18, very young.
Yeah.
But my entrepreneur roots run deep. My grandmother, for example, she was the ultimate entrepreneur. She was the ultimate matriarch. Figure this out, like insane example of making things work.
Nice.
Which drifted into my father, who I've only ever known as an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
I mean, he had to quit school by the time he was 10 years old to start working. He's been working since he was 10 years old, and I've watched him flip, pivot, adapt. Wow, his whole life. And so I've grown up seeing, and I didn't even realize this, seeing entrepreneurship
around you.
Yeah. Wow. And so it never scared me. Or yes, it did scare me, but meaning it didn't seem like it wasn't an option for me. I didn't feel like I had to work in a job.
So it was an option that was available. Like you saw it as a path.
Big time.
It didn't come across like for me now, where it's like, what company do you don't work for a company like
right? No. For me, it was almost that was gonna be my thing, and it's so funny because it's 5 of us, so my siblings before me all have jobs. My sister's actually an entrepreneur. She's a hairstylist, and she's always had her own salon or so. So she's another big. I think they call it. I think it's an expander is a word that I've heard. The term I've heard used that really explains that to me. When somebody can expand your experience in something, and we all have expanders. Like you're an expander for me in many ways as well. And it's just I think those things really help you to kind of push past your comfort zone. But so it's always been that. So music was my first step into being an entrepreneur. And then I kind of branched out into, like, after I had Jackson, I knew I wanted to try something else. And so I opened a salon.
Yes.
Random. But again, here's my common thread: creativity, connectivity.
Because the people. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And then I had that going for a couple of years before I was like, okay, I can't do this anymore because my strong suit is not staff.
Oh, well, it's a different thing, liking to connect versus leading and managing.
Yes. Oh my God, I learned so much about myself, and I have way too much heart to be managing so many people. Like, I know that now. Wow. And so I used to stay up at night and Google how to run a business with no staff. Because I would get connected to
That's
them.
what I want. I mean, I actually said it to somebody this week because I was talking about stepping into entrepreneurship, and I was like, but I want to do it like lean, boutique. So
Yes, that means boutique.
So I don't want like people working for me.
No.
I just want them to show up when I need something
and
then just disappear.
Yeah,
And he
disperse.
looked at me like I was psycho. He was like, what are you talking about?
Well, there's a thing, it's called YouTuber.
Yeah, like this is work.
But in between the salon and YouTube, I started to use I had a year. I knew I had 1 year from leaving the salon to figuring out what the next thing was. And I'm not one for timelines. I don't love timelines, but I knew that's when I was not going to be able to really have any comfort to just, I had 2 children at the time.
Yeah.
Maybe 3, I don't remember. No, 2, it was 2. And that's when I started to use my Instagram to change the way I connected with people.
Yeah.
And I started to use that as a way to transition from Tami, the artist, to the salon owner, to now the human being and the experience of
that's
this.
good. The human being.
Yeah. And I remember, I never forget, like, goosebumps thinking about it. The day I must have been having like a nervous breakdown and not even realize it. But I posted it. Yeah, sneaky. It looks a lot like you just need coffee, but and I posted a video of Jackson having a tantrum online. And it felt like I stood up naked in front of everybody. And I just said, this is hard. This is reality. This is difficult. This is what mothering looks like 90% of the time.
Yeah.
It's not, hi, honey.
Yeah.
Like, it's literally like, I'm going to lose my mind, whining children. I just have to deal with it. And it was the beginning of a very big shift for me into this next phase of life, which became YouTube. So yes, the boardroom has shifted, but there has been a common theme.
Wow.
Very long answer.
Wow. No, but I mean, I have so many questions.
I don't know where to look. I'm looking outside. I'm like looking at myself.
Well, I've actually been looking at you when you look at me, but I think I will look at them. We'll look at you guys, right? The first question I had was around Wayne now being a part of your boardroom, because I remember we talked about that, like, oh my gosh, you're going to work with Wayne.
Yes.
What was that like? Because I know that there are a lot of women who can't work with them, man. It's just like straight. Whereas for me, I've always had a strong desire around that. I feel better when, and guys that I've dated, I always end up meddling in their business, asking them what, and giving them advice, business advice, like, oh, you should try this strategy. So it's always been a desire of mine to have a partner I could do work with, support in some way. So how was that? Was it just that you had this dream? Oh my gosh, I would love to work with Wayne. Or
so I had an experience in music where I was dating the person who I was working with for a long time. We were, we still to this day are very good friends, thank God. But I didn't really want to jump back into that. And I really was worried about working. Because, we're 2 creatives, but we're completely different. So he is way more, what you call it now? He's a real creative. Like, he thinks, breathes, eats music, where I was kind of always like, it wasn't just to do with music. Like, my creativity is big and wide. And then I have this business part of me, this business head on me that I really always try to access, but I was really nervous about me and Wayne joining forces. But thankfully it came at a time when we had been together for so long that we could create very clear boundaries around who was doing what. And we have it down to, we have a system is my point. And I'm realizing more and more every day that, like, our systems really matter for parenting, for your marriage, for your business. Like, and when your systems fail, the whole thing goes awry. Yeah. And so even down to simple things, like, we know that Wayne deals with and this might sound stupid, but he is in charge of like thumbnails, for example, because we used to argue about
which thumbnails to use
and what it should say. And we can never agree on it, by the way. And it was something I just said, you know what, I'm relinquishing this.
We let it go.
You do it, I will edit. We both shoot. We don't have a show that we have to like figure out content every day, because
it's right. Oh, that's smart.
And so we both, I mean, I would say Wayne does most of the filming, thank God, because
so how that work? You just walk around with a stick?
Even better, his phone. We don't even have the stick. We film the whole thing on our phone. And so you know what's interesting, and just to kind of pop it in there, because a vlog can sometimes feel like it takes all day. And the other day my sister called and she was like, what are you doing? I was like, well, I'm editing, I can't talk right now, blah, blah, blah. No problem. She goes, oh gosh, Tam, it must be so daunting sitting in front of hours of footage. And I said, hours of footage? I was like, no. I said, on a heavy day, I'll have 50 minutes.
Oh, wow.
On a regular day, I have 36 minutes of footage. So as much as it is a vlog, it is really a peek, a little peek into our lives. Is a peek or a peep?
Peep and peep.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Peaky Blinders and the Peep Show. Okay, got it. But can you imagine 36 minutes of your day is not really your life?
Yeah, but I mean, yeah. And I guess this is really good advice on me. So one of the things that I said to Tami, let's wait until we start recording so I could share, is that I'm stepping into entrepreneurship in 2 weeks.
Come on over, girl.
Right? And what that looks like for me is stepping away from my traditional corporate. I've actually resigned from quite a few of the things I was doing.
Wow.
And from my main job, I'm taking a 4-month sabbatical. I actually thought I was resigning, and I was like, no, 4-month sabbatical. And in that 4 months, this is me now putting my flag in the ground to say this is it, right? And it's a different path. And I used to judge myself for that, by the way, where I was saying, oh, you're chicken, you ain't just chuck off. And like, okay, I'm also a strategist. And I got 3 kids and 2 bonus kids. So we ain't about that life. Anyway, as
not for everyone.
It is not, right? And as a part of this move into entrepreneurship, I am going to be sharing that time that, so I've started talking about it, and a lot of people have been like, how do you even ask for a sabbatical? Because some persons actually love the company that they work with, but they want time to explore, and they're afraid to step away. Maybe they can't financially, right? And so I've had people ask me, oh my God, I wish I was brave enough. How did you do it? What's the plan? And I'm thinking, like, the plan is to figure out the plan, right?
Yeah.
So I want to share my entrepreneurial journey, because I feel it's important, and not everybody looks the same. And I'm trying all kinds of things. And one of the things I want to do is I want to vlog. And the reason I'm doing it, because I love to chat, right? Clearly.
Same.
And I also, again, seeing Tami's vlog, and I'm like, if this chick can do it with 5 picnics and Momo, right? And sis and all the
But that's
things.
good information for you to know that it's just bits and bobs.
It's bits and bobs. So, it feels a little bit more doable.
Yeah, which is why we have to share.
Yeah.
And that is why, like, our vlog was really in an effort to just show another version of a family you may or may not have seen. I had no idea if my family is normal, not normal, typical. I don't know. And I was surprised to find out how many people benefited from seeing something that they either had or didn't have, aspired to, or had for themselves. I didn't even think, I when I started this thing, like every other journey I've started, no clue. No clue where it's going. I am a big believer in the breadcrumbs.
Yes, follow the Jesus breadcrumbs.
Big believer. Yeah, I'm still following breadcrumbs, you know? I am a big believer in the next right thing, which may only show up in that moment.
Oh, that's
I'm
good.
a big, I am
That's good.
terrible, and it's just not for me. It doesn't mean it's not right, it's wrong. I am not great at looking at my year ahead, Stace. Like
Oh.
you know, you do that, you get
Yeah.
that, you understand that.
Yeah.
Like for me, and maybe so I was raised, you know, being raised by an entrepreneur who
Yeah.
had to figure it out as he went along
Yeah.
and could not see a year ahead.
Yeah.
And it would have done him well maybe to see a year ahead, but I
Yeah.
grew up on this like, yo, we are gonna figure it out as we go along.
And it's like a salt. It's like a just
It's like a
salt.
start.
Yeah.
It's my way. The minute I start to look too far down, you know, my head starts
Yeah,
hurting me, and
yeah.
things become
Overwhelming.
overwhelming.
Yeah.
You know?
Even if it's not a lot of things, it just feels more.
Well,
big.
the biggest thing, it used to happen to me in my daily planning until I realized, oh, I just need to put the 3 things down I have to do. I have to
Solve world
do the
peace.
whole thing, like, because I thought that having a lot of things meant that I was
Yes.
doing a lot of things.
Yes.
But I would put on a list of 20 things under 3.
Yes.
So
Yes.
put the 3.
Oh, that's so good. I actually
Yeah.
have a system for that.
Oh, good.
Yes,
I need her
I have a system for that. I have a system because that used to happen to me too. I'm a doer. You know, I
Yes.
like to get it done, and I like to
Yes.
check off things off of the list.
Nothing
right?
makes you feel worse
No,
when you
you know,
don't
when you
do
don't check it
anything.
off.
Yeah.
And then I came up with this concept of the top 3 for me.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
They
And
love the
every
top
day it's the top 3 for me. That no matter what else is going on, I have to, you know.
Yeah.
And then what I realized is that I was making the top 3 for me list, and then it was like, and then if.
Yeah.
And I was writing
but that's great.
everything else.
Yeah.
So now I've built a complete system where it's, and you do this once a week, there's a whole thing around it.
Mm-hmm.
And you sit on a Sunday and you just list out
what you want to get
what
done.
you want to get
this
done
week, not this month.
this week. Just one list, just a list of things.
Yeah.
And then you start to look for your top 3 for me,
right,
for the next day or in the
Right.
next morning, right?
Yeah. And do you do that by like I know
Boardroom
we're not
bedroom
gonna get
list.
it. Okay, got it.
Yes,
Got it.
I
And
do
do
it
you
by
do you
boardroom
try
bedroom
to
list.
choose like your hardest thing to do first or your easiest thing to do
No,
first? Like,
it's what would give me the most joy.
ah,
I mean,
so
and
I'm never gonna pay
there's
my GPS bill.
no. There's an important step in between. There's an important step in between, right? You have things that you're going to escalate, eliminate, or elevate.
Got it.
Right?
The ease.
I
I
have
love how she
3
has all
E's.
these things. The
Yeah, which
the
is
only
why-
reason why it's balancing is because juggalos start with a B.
It's true. It's true. So I have escalate, eliminate, or elevate, right?
Yes.
Eliminate clearly is you're either
That
delegating
sounds like
it to
me
somebody.
pregnant. You're either escalating, eliminating, or elevating your feet. Sorry, I
Yeah,
don't.
I help it. So you're either eliminating it, which means not just crossing it off and saying not matter. You can delegate it to somebody, or it can be put on a list for another time, right? Elevate means that it's something that is on the to-do list. It's not urgent or important, but it's just on the list. It needs to get done.
Right.
Right. But if you don't,
And
do
maybe
it
it needs
this
to
week,
move from where it is
yeah,
and
into
pushed
that,
up a little
right.
further.
And then you have escalate, and anything escalate is urgent and important.
Oh,
which
that's
means
different
that,
to elevate.
yes, which means that there is no this is escalating to do, like you have to get done.
Yeah.
And when you look through the list initially, that dump that you're going to do, you may not see anything that needs to be escalated because you don't have a due date. Like you like, if it is not, you know, the 5th month, the 5th after the bill from JP's, and they're going to lock it off. Which they do.
It is the 5th.
They do, right?
Watch out for that short month, you know, that's February.
February. Come in, run it. Right. So that's essentially how I've satisfied my needing to have that plethora.
Right.
I get anxious when I feel like there are things I'm not paying attention to, but I know, you know, and then I just pick my top 3 that week and I just go through it.
It's been helping me a lot recently that I've been renovating our kitchen, whole ground floor. And we have a group chat with the contractor and the supervisors. And I was very clear in the beginning to say to them, I do not want to see 10 things that need to be done in a day when you full well I know it's only 3. So give me your 3
Give
things.
me 3
And
things.
we've only done like a week up until this point. And let me tell you something, they hit every goal.
Oh, so the top 3 for me.
Yeah.
Then hit
so I think they're gonna keep that model because I was like, listen, Don't
It
tell me
makes them
10.
efficient
Just
too.
do the 3.
Yeah, it makes them efficient.
Yeah, and it's plenty. And this has been,
Excellent.
I mean, it's amazing how it can work all over your life. So
No,
yeah, anyway,
excellent.
that was
Yes,
random.
yeah. I actually intend on talking about the system
Yes.
because it's gonna come out,
Good.
But I
Good.
think it's good for you
For
guys to
somebody
get
who's
it.
not good at systems, timelines, and looking ahead, that is something that makes sense to me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
excellent. So download the free template that I'm now going to create
Yes.
early.
Please do.
So that you,
See?
so that you can
The next right thing. I don't
We'll figure it out. Okay, all right. Awesome. So I actually dubbed this particular recording because all the other recordings have been Zoom with blur background and all the things, but I actually really wanted to create kind of a feeling of home in honor of home because that's where you work.
Yes.
And to also prepare myself, I think, because I'm not going to be doing the whole setup. It's going to start with this is what's happening. Like I wake up and I'm like stressed out because I don't know what I'm doing today.
Yeah.
And that stresses me out,
Yeah.
or I'm actually taking a trip away by myself. Yeah. So that I can connect to myself.
Yeah.
As an entrepreneur.
Important.
And I want to blog about that because I'm picking something nice.
Do you have any and this is a random question, so I have nothing to do what we're talking about. But I found very early on that I had a little bit of shame around blogging. Yeah. Because it didn't feel, and YouTube. Yeah. Because it didn't feel like it was a viable real job. Yeah. And so every time I would, even now sometimes like when people ask me, I make a big joke of it, I go, I'm a blogger. Okay. But it's one of the hardest jobs I've ever had in my life. Yeah. I don't think I've ever had to be so organized, but also so willing to be open and honest, which is not something everybody is used to. And it's not how every blog is set up, but based on what you're going to be doing, you're bearing it.
Yeah, for me, I can't. That's why I'm comfortable. Yes. So I would say that I've been experiencing a lot of shame around not having my entrepreneur game together. Right. So I could be, selling rocks. Pet rock was a thing, Yes. Yes. But I could be selling rocks, or I could be vlogging, which because of my tech background, I'm kind of more accustomed to the fact that it is a $1 billion empire, right? Yes. But just the fact that it's like, okay, so you're going to leave your big C-suite and go make video like that. I know, right? I know. But yes. Yeah, that's what we're doing. But yes, I've never been happier. I have to tell you that. Oh, that's so nice. It's this joy that I can't explain. Every time I sit down to edit a video or do something, I sit away all the time. I was like, I don't know how this is going to come together, but I know it will. And to have a job that gives me the freedom, gives me the time. I mean, it's every entrepreneur's dream. Yeah. Because I always tell people it's not really money owned. You want freedom. You want freedom. You want freedom to do what you do with your time. Money, I always tell people money is numbers now. Money is math. You can figure out a way to make money all day, every day. But the freedom, that's a whole other thing. Yeah, because you actually have people that have a lot of money and have no freedom. You don't want that. Yeah. You don't want that. But I was just wondering if you had any of those feelings because, and for anybody who might be having some shame around their choice. I see people doing different things and I wonder, gosh, how they feel about opening this particular store or having this particular brand. And there's always this little sense of what will they think? Yeah. What will people think of me doing this? No, and it's a very that was a big thing for Wayne. Sorry. Oh. Yeah. Going from music into blogging. What? Yeah. And if it wasn't for the pandemic, he would have never known what an incredible blogger is. And I'm saying blogger, but I'm really saying he's an incredible connector. He's an incredible people person. He's an incredible sharer. He has lessons. And I mean, Wayne is about to start his own YouTube podcast series because he has some of the best conversations around so many things. And it's opened up his world. So I just think, sometimes you have to and he was very concerned about how that would look. Yeah, which I can definitely understand. Yeah, and we're women. As women, sometimes we can be like, oh, child, no, we don't worry about what people think, even though we're kind of low key. It's a very different thing for a man.
to step into this world, I feel, and so I'm really proud of him for taking that step.
Big up, Wayne.
Yeah.
No, nice. And talking about Wayne will actually segue us quite nicely into the bedroom.
Well, that's going well. Let me show you. I don't know.
Oh my God, this is good.
For those of you who don't know, I'm 6 months pregnant.
Yes.
If you haven't been able to tell already by my, massive shirt dress.
And we're all, meaning the entire community of Jamaica and other people around the world who have been following Tami, right? We're all just so happy because she's having a girl.
Yes.
I wasn't sure if you were going to share it, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, if it was a boy, I don't know what I'd have done.
We would have been like, okay.
We didn't want to find out, and then we did, and then we couldn't contain ourselves. Like, classic.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, because when you unplug and know that
it's too hard. And that's the thing, when you share so much, it's hard to not share certain things.
So here we are now. We're having the baby boy. We're all having the baby girl. Yes. We're all having the baby girl.
Every time I go to the doctor, I'm like, can you make sure she doesn't have a penis?
Just check. Right? And just being able to experience that with you has been such.
Thank you.
It's a blessing. Yeah, it's really a blessing. Yeah. It makes you feel hope for your own dreams, and that when you try again.
Yeah.
This
would have been it though. We weren't trying for a girl. Oh,
okay.
No.
This is the last chance.
We wanted one more baby, and if it was going to be a girl, it was going to be a girl. I was happy to have another boy. I'm so used to my boys.
Yeah, boys are great.
Boys
are great. Boys are actually really great.
But girls are great too.
Girls are great. I have 2 girls
and
a bonus girl.
There you go.
3.
There you go. So
well, with the bedroom space, guys, it's not just about the amazing partner.
Yeah.
Right. It's also about just intimate relationships. So it can be about your children. It can be about your mom or dad. It's just that space that, it's a bit more private, right? Mm-hmm. And the area of life that people typically think about when they think about intimacy, they immediately go to the guy, right? Or the girl, depending on your dispensation, right? Mm-hmm. So in this instance, I wanted to dive a little bit into Tami's bedroom and ask a question about the kids first, right? So you have a blended family and a really big blended family.
Yeah.
And then you yourself have a big extended family, with 5 siblings and all of that kind of stuff. And Wayne has a big extended family, so that's a lot of family. Now, do you have to validate what you're doing with opening your life up with the wider group? Is it something that you had to think through as a partner? Because that's a lot of potentially intimate conversations.
Yeah,
that you're having with the world.
No, we didn't. I'm glad you're bringing this up because that's another thing about we share a lot and something that I have a lot of I'm still very private. And I don't think a lot of people can see how that may be if we share so much.
Right.
There's still this whole privacy piece that exists. Again, just to make it clear, I take 36 minutes out of a 24-hour day and deliver 18 to 22-minute piece about the day. Can you imagine all the other things that happen? I take, for example, the fact that nobody knew I was pregnant for 5 months until we were ready to share that and process it. So think about how much happens in the privacy space, in the intimate space that just doesn't get to happen on screen. We are very, 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 very conscious about our family, about their willingness to share. We don't know how it's going to go down with the kids in the future. We don't. Tell you the truth. They might hate us. They might not. With regards to the older boys, so Gio, who is Wayne's first son, he's 16. Gio is taking a path of, sharing. He has his own YouTube channel. And so he doesn't live with us anymore. He lives with his mom in the States, and so he's exploring his life on his own terms, but using that as an outlet. When he comes to Jamaica, he decides how much he's in or he's out. We try not to be too overbearing. Same with Alex. Just yesterday, people were asking me, where's Alex? Where's Alex? Well, Alex is 19. He's moving into adulthood. This is not his thing. He's not Mr. be on screen, blah, blah, blah. We've always known this. And so we've given him all this room to be in and out as he pleases. I never pick up my phone without saying, hey, Momo, I'm going to film this. I never pick up my phone without looking at even the little ones. I can tell when they don't want to do it.
Oh,
the older ones just say, no, mommy. Boom. The baby is looking around the phone at me, and boom, the phone goes down because there's no
That's
chance
so interesting
that I'm going to do this outside of even your version of consent.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Wow. That's powerful.
And our whole family, we just, if we're going to do something, sometimes even before we go, we're like, hey guys, we are vlogging today. Is it okay for us to get some? We try our best, you know, but at the same time, we're figuring things as we go along.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm hoping we're doing the right thing all the time. And I think, you know, we're just doing our best to navigate it. Like
you actually gave me a good tip there because I'm really bad at that. First of all, I get social media anxiety, right? And what that looks like, guys, is whenever I go to post, my mind starts to just get warped. And I have to think about, I'll take lots of pictures to share, and then I'll be sitting there and it's literally like I'm paralyzed.
Why? You worry about?
I think I get into the imposter syndrome thing.
Okay.
But it's very, well, first of all, it's very unlike me because I don't typically care like that. But there is just something with it. So I'm actually happily separated from my phone, and half of the time, it's like, Cece, you need to post, you need to post, you need to post, and I have to make myself, you know. But then because I'm bad at it, I don't really think about when I pick up my phone. I'm just, and then the girls,
they're good. They have
just,
their own
please,
thing.
mommy, don't, you know. It's just,
it's not,
you know,
it's not cool for them.
No, it's not, and I have to figure out, ask.
Yeah.
You know,
I've watched so many vlogs like over the years, and I've seen kids literally grow up on vlogs. And I've seen, you know, where it works, thankfully. I'm sure there are situations where it
doesn't.
But it's gonna just be one of those things that we play by ear. I mean, there are things that I posted 4 years ago that I'm like, ooh, why is that on my timeline? Like, you might change your mind, and my kids might change their mind. And one day my girlfriend said, can you please take down these ridiculous videos? And I'm like, okay. And then I know I can hear the people that are going, anything on the internet, never did there. And I'm just like, you can't win, you know, Stacey, you can't win. So guess what? Do you, boo?
Yes.
Do you?
No, that's good. That's good.
But I feel you on the anxiety thing. Every time I post something, I'm guarding the comment section. The people who are going to just, you know, there's just some people out there who just don't want to see you do well. And there are people out there who just don't want to.
I don't even think they know that they don't want to see you do well. I think it's just, they're just it's subconscious. At least I hope.
It's their own
it's their own stuff.
Right? It's not yours.
Yeah.
Anyway.
No, that's really good.
We do our best.
Now, for women out there like myself who are aspiring towards a long, loving relationship, not barring you're gonna have your thing, right? What is the piece of advice or pieces of advice? What would you say? Because Tami, that's the one thing that I would say is unedited. Her relationship with Wayne is one that I admire. Talk about relationship goals. Hashtag relationship goals, right?
My most hated hashtag, y'all. Let's just be clear.
But it's so authentic and it's so just real, and it seems like you like each other still.
Do, thank God.
That's like,
Stace, I don't have sometimes I feel like such a big idiot trying to explain or give advice on it. Because we've had really hard times too, and we've had really massive disagreements, ups and downs. We don't see eye to eye sometimes, and then we just have, you know, moments of bliss that just carry us through. And then there's just, you know, we're surviving on friendship most days, and then sometimes we're just roommates, and then sometimes we just can't keep our hands off each other, and sometimes, you know, I say to Wayne all the time, we just got lucky in love this time around. Like, we really did. I really feel so blessed, whatever you want to call it. And I don't know that there's much more to it, because there are lots of couples who feel like this and it doesn't work out the same way. And I think we've also just made this decision that, like, no matter what happens, this didn't fail. You know? Good. And so I feel like a lot of people who end up in, you know, a breakup, a divorce, otherwise, that they call it a failed marriage. or a failed relationship.
Yeah,
and I'm like, you
good.
can't throw 22 years down the drain and say it was a failure, especially if you have, children. And
no, that's good.
It just will never be something that failed. We may not. I don't know what the future holds. I tell people all the time, like, Wayne hates when I say this, but I'm just going to say it. If you're married, there's a possibility you might get divorced.
Wayne hates that statement. I wonder why.
But it's fact. So my parents are divorced. And my parents are like this. If you watch the vlog, you know that my parents are still besties. So they didn't have a failed marriage. Like after a while, they couldn't work in that unit anymore.
They didn't want to be married anymore.
But they had this wonderful
relationship
that is better now because of all those years. Anyway, my point is that I think a big part of the magic is understanding that it doesn't have to be this way. It could be something completely different. And just not, thinking too far down the road, I guess. Like you have your end all be all picture, like I am old and we're hanging out in the house alone. And I'm saying, can you pick up where my glasses? We have those fantasies, but at the same time, we'll get there when we get
eventually.
there.
It's an important thing to remember, to be present in it. Because when you're present in it, that's when you can really squeeze the juice out of it. If you're not present, you miss the delicious.
I think the other day we're currently living with his mom because our house is on the rubble. And I said to her, I said, because she said something to me about him being asleep, like I think at like 9 o'clock in the morning or something. I was like, that's his thing. Like he's up all night and he sleeps late. And we were just talking, and I was like, the greatest thing ever was that we made our own rules.
Yes.
Because for a long time, I thought that was a bad thing. Like currently, we're not sleeping in the same room because we don't have the same sleep pattern right now. So we'll go through these years where we're sleeping on the same schedule, and then we'll go through years when we're not. So we're in the year where we're not, which is going to serve me because when I have this baby, he does the night shift.
Right. Okay.
No, I'm telling you. So right now, that's just how our pattern works. It works for us. I don't know how else to explain it. Some people that couldn't work for, and those are your decisions to make in your relationship. But for us, that's just like the day I decided it wasn't going to be a deal breaker or a reason to get divorced, because then I could be like, it's just our way. And it works. There's nothing wrong with that.
Now, do you actively talk about these things? Like, I mean, because you talked about having a system with marriage. So do you say, babe, we need to have this conversation? Because a lot of people in marriage, they don't communicate,
No.
They don't have the conversations that they need to be having.
They don't have the tools. Nobody spoke to them about anything. And that's something we've had to learn. My favorite thing is, I need to talk to you about something. Samia. But he has those tools too. And to talk about this, or when you said that, I felt like this, and so we're a lot better at picking up those cues very quickly. Our biggest thing I would say that has like saved our marriage 10 times over is our recovery rate. How you recover from anything.
Oh my gosh.
Bad joke.
Like we could do a whole show on that relationship recovery thing. Like I didn't get it before. But I get it now.
I hate you. What you want for dinner?
No, my recovery rate has also increased.
Improved.
It improved.
It needs to.
It has improved. I was actually celebrating that inside the other day. I was like, we're getting the bounce back.
Yes, the bounce back is everything. And one of you have to decide to do it.
Yes.
Because then it makes it easier for the other. And often it's a woman who has to do it because the men can't bounce back too quick because we kind of are like, we ain't over it, but get over it, So what did somebody say the other day to me? Marriage is two people not wanting a divorce at the same time. There you have it.
Yes.
Breakup. Relationships, two people not wanting to break up at the same time.
Yes. No, it's true.
No advice there more than just what I said, which I can't remember. I'll have to remember.
You said several things. And I think that the gem that I actually picked up from what you said is that you created your marriage. You created your relationship. You actually created your
even with
relationship
our
through the rules.
co-parenting,
Yeah.
even all of that, like we threw everything out of the window, and thank God that Regina is who she is, with Gio's mom.
Yes.
And thank God
that was
Wayne
my
is-
favorite podcast
Yeah.
episode. Regina, if you ever watch this,
Yeah.
that was my favorite episode because that blending situation, like with that needed on a podcast.
We could never
like,
have done it without each of us being who we are. But I have so much respect for her that you will never know. And so Regina and I are very close, and we laugh all the time, and we say, you know, thankfully, like we were able to kind of get past everything that we could experience the friendship we have. Because we have a really lovely friendship. And I'm not even, I mean, I think about our Christmas together, even just recently, as one of my fondest memories was me and her just being able to, we talk the whole day. Like it's crazy.
Wow.
And we talk, especially when Gio used to live here, I think me and Regina spoke
Spend
more
time together
than Wayne and Regina.
Yeah.
But it's amazing to watch even their relationship flourish in a whole new way. I don't think they've had such a great relationship like now, parenting Gio at this stage, at their age, at their maturity level, at their understanding. So it's nice to see that happen for them.
Which is when it's necessary, right? I mean, let me tell you, I'm learning so much about parenting. In particular, that it actually they need you more the older they get. You think that it's less because they're big, you know, they're getting into adulthood and stuff.
They need you when they stop saying mom, mom,
it's
mom.
like mine still saying
my mom is coming to help me with this baby. I still need her.
Yes.
My dad is going to be there. Wayne's mom is meaning we need you guys.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
No joke.
Nice. Now you talked a little bit about bliss. You actually mentioned bliss as something you experienced in your marriage. And what I wanted to find out was about more intentional bliss. So where do you spend time? How do you spend time, or where accessing bliss?
You mean in my marriage?
No,
or
just personally.
Just personally. Okay, this is something I have a lot of trouble with. I'm glad you brought it up. Help! So I remember a couple of years ago going to my first ever, I think it was my first ever therapy session. And I think what sent me to my first therapy session was the fact that somebody asked me if I did fun. And I could not answer them.
Oh, wow. You didn't have a thing to point to.
It still makes me a little sad because the truth is I'm really bad at fun.
Oh, wow.
And fun and bliss for me kind of muddled together. Until I realized that bliss and fun didn't have to be these things that happened at like these places that I thought. And instead, one of my most blissful things that I have created for myself every day is my shower.
Oh, that's so nice. Do you have present showers?
Yeah, I have present showers. I have podcast showers. I have showers where I'm not here, where I am at the meeting or I am at the thing, but I have these amazing, like I spend a lot of money on my shower things. So I used to spend a lot of money on makeup, and I used to spend money on shoes and clothes. Now I'm like, I need a scrub. I need a loofah. I need a dry brush. I need shampoo.
A new bath bomb or something.
I need
essential oils.
Shower steamers. Jeez, you're afraid. Man, in my hot water never did a work for well. So then never says, but since we did read it about you, we get that like hot water and the steamers.
Yes, shower steamers.
So I know access bliss daily, intentionally, with just something I have to do.
Oh, that's nice.
So
that's good.
What bliss for me is also meals.
Oh.
I know this. I'm just trying to tell you that there are very basic things. You don't have to be running off to somewhere and, you know, doing something. It can be really simple. Take it from me. I'm terrible at bliss. I'm terrible at fun. Okay? Coffee. My little rituals of how I do it and the area I set up. Like I realize that I'm very visual. These things help me to just feel like, oh, I love that. And it takes me away for a minute or two, because bliss doesn't have to last for an hour or a day or
half a day or whatever.
Moments.
Yeah.
That's good. Things you can access often. You know, I used to want to sit and read, except once I started to read, I fell asleep. I realized what I really wanted was a comfy chair. I wanted my little cuppa. I wanted the smell of a candle. I wanted a moment that was my bliss. And so I really believe in creating bliss in pockets, and I really had to reimagine what that looked like, because I thought it meant holidays and vacations and spas and doing my nails and doing my hair, which I hate. Yeah, I don't love it. You know, I make time for it, but I don't love to sit there and get my hair done or my nails done. I love a good shower.
That's so good though, Tami.
I love to cook a meal. That's why the kitchen is so important. That is going to be so much bliss once I waited 15 years to get this kitchen. And once I do that, I know.
I like the cooking things that you are doing, you know, because you make it so fun. You make it so fun. Yeah, man, that's nice.
My problem, guys, is that I have a very bad habit of turning all my hobbies into work.
Yeah. So you're not. So I think what I loved that you said was the moments to escape to, right? I really like the thought of escaping to these moments often. That was the key word, right? Moments you can escape to often.
Yes.
Now, are you having more moments where the feeling lasts a long time versus it's just in this 5 minutes? So as an example, are you not getting into work too soon against your bliss moments? Like, is there any kind of balance there?
So 5 minutes goes a long way for me where bliss is concerned. Just like anything, like meaning, okay, so Wayne and I used to joke that when we would get away for like a 3 to 5 day holiday, we were like, this is too much for us. This is too much luxury. This is too much bliss. This is too much food. Like, we realized we have like a 3-day window before we're like, done, need to get back to some routine. This is too good, you know. Like, even good is can be too much, believe it or not. And so even stuff for my, like I said, my bliss, I just need a moment to breathe before I say can recharge me to get into the next thing.
Okay.
But I will say this, and something that I struggled with again for a long time was this idea that on a Sunday I had to kick up my feet, like it was a part of like the self-love thing, and I had to relax and I had to guys, I don't know how to say this. It might go against everything you believe about bliss. I really love to work. I really love to do. It's a part of my joy.
Yeah.
I think it was Michelle Obama who said that, you know, Obama has like, 6 plates spinning in the air. You take one down and he's off balance and he has to put something else to replace it. And I felt that so deeply because I was like,
it connected with that.
I do love to do and think and innovate, and now I'm learning how to not make it burn me out, but how to use other things to energize me, to keep that going, because I really love it. I really love it. And I think we get a bad rap of sometimes being like, God, can't you ever just stop? Actually, I do. I just don't stop the way you stop.
Right.
And I recover in a different way, and I can have a bath and feel like I had a 3-day vacation.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah. So I actually think, so you raised a couple of good points, because I do talk about being a work addict myself, right? However, this is where the subtle distinction I think comes in. It's whether or not you're able to balance your doing with your being. And that is what is missing for a lot of work addicts. Right,
the being
side,
they're human doings, not
human beings, right? And what I got from you is that your being moments are often,
they are.
You have like these bursts.
I'm not waiting for a 2-week vacation,
right? Like me, my challenge is that I will literally work all day, hard work. I mean, like that's what was happening to my point where my body was hurting.
That's why we have to be clear about what I mean. Yeah,
right.
Because
it's not it. Yeah, and I got that from what you explained. When you talked about doing a video, and then you're doing things that you're passionate about, which a lot of people aren't necessarily operating in their zone of genius. They're operating more in competence or excellent. They're good at something, and so they do that. Not that this brings me joy and makes me feel good. Like, oh, I love what I do. That's not it. And just working themselves into the bone.
No, I never. It never. I mean, it's rare that the work that I do de-energizes me. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I know lots of
Yeah.
people who have
That's
jobs
good.
that at the end of the day they're like,
Yes, you're tired of
and
your body.
that's
You're
such a
achy.
telltale sign that
You're achy and
not
stuff.
only are you doing too much, but B, you're doing too much of the wrong thing.
Yes.
Because Wayne literally
Exactly.
has to come in and be like, you still editing? I'm like, oh my God, but I just did this. You have to come and see this edit that I just did. Especially now I have my own channel where I get this new way of being creative and creating graphics, which I've never done before. And now I'm like in this whole new world of like, it took me 3 days to edit one video, but the most fun ever for me.
Nice.
But yes, there is a distinction between that and burning yourself out. And I do think that those pops of bliss help.
Yes.
Listening to a song you love. You know how fun it is
Bliss
to get
and
in your
grief.
car and listen. You and the bee there.
I'm just
I love her. You see? I love her. But getting in your car and putting on a podcast or listening to a song that you love, like, some bliss I'm intentional about, drop my kids to school every morning. Music is what gets us through that. We don't talk. We each get a chance to play songs that we want to hear.
Nice.
They made me change my route so that they're in the car longer. And
so
so now
nice.
we're on Greece, right? So now it's you're the one that I want, you are the one, and it's so fun to see them, but that's bliss.
Yeah.
Like we've all just
beautiful.
shared this moment every day.
Beautiful.
Every single day. I say figure out how to tie that bliss in daily, even if it's 5 minutes.
Yeah. No, that's really
and
good.
You can do it. Think about things that just sweet you in the middle of the day. It might be a meal.
Yeah.
It might be a cup of coffee or a tea. It might be making a meal.
Or a quickie.
It might be a quickie. It's never that for me. That never plan out. But even that has its, it's very blissful energy that can just get you. There's no quicker way to connect. I tell people about me and we laugh all the time. Like we could not be talking for a long time and
that's it.
Connection. But those things can happen to you all throughout the day in these different ways. I saw Wayne eat a mango the other day and the man was in heaven.
It's like,
can't tell me that wasn't a 5-day vacation.
Well, mango season bust with the Julies, right? Julie mango come out. Oh my God.
I'm just saying, it might be something to think about.
No, that's really, really important. And I'm actually glad that you brought that to life. Meaning, bliss does not have to look like getaway. It can look like being in your regular routine and just having a moment. I always share the story about one of the things I admire about Oprah when she talks about her blissful everyday moment where she sits down at 4:00 every afternoon and has chai, and it's 20 minutes. She blocks off its time, 20 minutes, and she just sits down with her cup of chai tea and she just, that's it. Bliss is out. And I can imagine her team making sure that chai tea is on spot because 4 o'clock.
And that's right when you need it,
Because
even just you shouldn't never the meetings at 4:00 in the day, because of our circadian rhythms and
okay.
Like it's a time when we should be resetting.
That's
it
good.
should be when you're napping.
That's good.
It should be when you're getting that for the day, so you don't choose it by accident.
Oh, that's good. I need to investigate that some more.
You do.
I need to investigate that some more.
Fire
that would fit right
at
into
4
this.
p.m. I know you're going to find the F for it. I know you are. So
fire up at 4.
Yeah. Or is it that it's not
it's not fire up.
It's a
it's
a feel good 4
feel good 4 o'clock.
Hey now, what are you doing now? We should let's do a week of feel good at 4.
Feel good. Oh, that's a great
let's just
idea.
do 20 minutes.
That's a
at
great
4 o'clock.
idea.
I don't know what the heck you're gonna do with your 4 o'clock.
No, it don't matter.
I'm gonna send your missus, girl, you ready for your feel good at 4?
No, that's so good. We're gonna do that. That's gonna be a balanced lady boss thing.
I love it.
Feel good at 4.
And we set it like it's our appointment.
And we're gonna dedicate it to Oprah's chai tea.
Thank you.
Oh
yes.
Oh.
Blissful daily.
And that will be downloadable as well.
Yes. Love it.
We're figuring it out as we go. I wonder if anybody has wondered why this blanket
why is it here? Sound. Got it.
I mean, it feels nice.
It does feel nice. Yeah. But it's soaking up some of that.
Guys, so this is the full entrepreneur thing, like when you look around the room, you have pillow, all kind of things. And then I did a throw, a feel good throw right here so that we could catch some of this sound reverberation.
Yeah.
Anywho, so we're actually at the end of our interview.
We could talk the end.
We actually, we have to manage that. We have to manage that.
We did everything right.
Yes, we did. We did boardroom, bedroom, bliss.
Yes.
And I usually like to leave the community with one piece of advice that is something that comes from maybe your toolkit, so to speak. It's something that you draw for when you need to get back to center, or when things not go so well. It could be a quote, it could be a Bible verse, it could be a fable, any kind of thing that really allows you to just
I can tell you right off the bat, it's very simple. It is what it is.
Oh,
that's always been my thing. It is what it is. And I love what Eckhart Tolle says, that all of our suffering comes from wanting things to be different than it is. And there is room for that. There is room to want things to be different. But in this moment, it is what it is. Like anytime I'm faced with something that I cannot figure out, my first thing is, all right, it is what it is. My second thing I love is that it's figure outable. I do love that.
It's Marie Forleo.
I don't know much about Marie Forleo, but I know that. And I use that mantra all the time. And my life is a testament that you can figure it out. And that you will, even when you don't mean to figure it out.
That's good.
Something is going to make sense along the way. So the first step is to call a spade a spade. It is what it is. I don't want, and my pain is coming from wanting this to be different right now. I think about it a lot when the kids are having tantrums right in front of me, and I'm learning to control my response, which has been the hardest thing ever. But in this moment, I might be in the middle of Montana and Jack, what's his name? The liquor one.
Us.
Like us. That's a regular thing. I'm like, what that one name?
It's gonna get worse.
When he thinks he can have the things in there, and people are staring at me, and I'm like, it is what it is.
Yeah.
He's too. He has tantrums, but it works for big things too. So it is what it is, and guess what? I'm gonna figure it out. Or it's going to figure itself out, or it's going to eliminate itself, elevate itself, or escalate itself.
I love that. No, that's so excellent. And the truth is, guys, that when you look at the life, the evolution of life, right? You always figure things out. Guys, we were in a pandemic, but no, I'm using word, for 2 years.
Yes, there were.
We were in a pandemic for 2 years, all our way together, and more together than ever before, because of course we had social media. Yeah. So we're all sharing, we were all locked up.
Shocking. We survived it.
And we figured it out.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, and I think that started once a day we said it is what it is.
Yes! It is what it is.
It is what it is. Meaning, and it is what it is just means that this is what is happening.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean I don't want it to be different.
Yeah, don't fight against it. Don't fight. It's here.
To call it. You have to name it.
Yeah, it is here.
So whatever it is you're looking at right now, whatever obstacle, hurdle, man, woman, or child, it is what it is.
Our dog.
Yeah, our dog. My cat is missing. Anyway, but that's a whole nother. It is what it is.
They tend to do that though. I don't want that to cats where they just decide.
We're very worried. Oh, hopefully by the time this come out, we have found the cats.
Okay.
Anyway.
Well, this is non-traditional in terms of the next question I'm going to ask you, and it's probably quite selfish.
Okay.
So community people, I apologize in advance. But
I hope it's not my skincare routine. Sorry. Let me shut up.
Oh God, I can't manage. Okay, but Tami, I've actually known you for a few years now, right? And I don't know what our special connections, but I really do feel connected to you, and you've been such an inspiration for me, both with the podcast and now with me deciding that I'm going to do this blog. I've already named it, by the way.
Oh, I can't wait to hear.
It's so exciting. And
just love her. I'm dying to hear the name, okay? Because I know that's a PR team.
And I really want to ask for your advice about what I'm about to do, which oftentimes feels really scary. I mean, I'm trying to curate the words so that I don't throwing any other bombs in there.
Yeah.
But, what do you, am I just crazy?
Yeah, of course
What do
you
you
are.
think?
You have to be. I mean, you can't be, this is the thing, like Stace, like if you can you're already doing it. That's the thing. And that's what's so interesting about you thinking this is so far from what you're doing. Like you're already doing it. Like you literally just have to take the other foot out of the boat because you're already halfway in the ocean.
Right.
So
okay.
and guess what? You can swim.
Yeah.
And there's a whole massive flotation device waiting for you. I think your gift is that you have always showed up as you are. You have always been a truth teller, which I think is key to what you're going to be doing. You're willing to show the faults and the failures and also the absolute joy and victory and the bliss of it all. You've done much harder things.
That's true. I really have.
You really have.
Yeah.
But it takes a different level of courage and bravery to just show up as you. But you already do that. So I think my thing would be, just to constantly remind yourself that I've been doing this. I already doing this. This is nothing actually new.
Yeah.
And I know it is new, but I'm just saying, you've been doing this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You already know what you're doing, and you're already there. And I promise you, you just show up. That's the best thing.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and just give it time. Like it's soon gonna feel so. It's gonna feel so good.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
gonna
I'm
feel
trusting
so bad
that.
too. That's when you call me, like, girl, and I'm gonna be like, it is what it is. So you're already doing it.
Good. That's good. Thank you.
You
so
are.
much,
I'm so proud of you. And I know proud can feel like a weird thing to say when you're.
No,
and brave.
I get
These
it.
words can feel so fairy
trust me,
tale.
I know you feel like I feel it. I feel it. So thank you so much. This means a lot. So I have been knighted officially. I get things sprinkled and well, move out forward.
There's another conversation that's gonna happen after this camera goes off. I can tell you that. Like, girl. No. We left it all on the table. That's the truth. We said what we had.
She's actually genuinely funny, guys. I mean,
couldn't you tell?
She's really, she can't try. It just is, It's so hard to just even get started. Anyway, thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. And thank you to everybody who's here. And
for those of you who tuned into Balanced Lady Boss Epic 100. Okay, we're in celebration of the show, of this journey that I'm about to take. And closing out, I just want to make sure that I recognize my viewers and my listeners. Thank you for journeying with me and for hooking your wagon to my horse and buggy thing that's going for this next go around. It's going to be a lot of adventures and excitement and laughter and tears and all the things I'm going to do all the time anyway, right? So thank you, Tami, for kickstarting this process with me. And I appreciate you so much. And I'm dubbing this season 4 Being in Bloom. That's what we're all about.
Love that.
Okay. So thanks, ladies, for joining, and the gentlemen that are continuing to follow us on the journey. And we'll be in touch for another episode of the Balanced Lady Boss Show. Bye. Thank you so much for joining us for another epic of the Balanced Lady Boss Show.